If you received a call from a dead family member, what would you do? Today we're going to explore a story just like that. We have a dark twist for you, so stay with us. If you are ready, grab some snacks, because this one is going to get creepy. This is the tale of a girl, just 6 years old, who vanished on the 14th of March 1994, leaving nothing behind but a chilling mystery. The girl's name was Emily, a vibrant soul with dreams as vast as the sky. Her sudden disappearance was no ordinary vanishing. It shattered the tranquility of her small town. Emily's parents, respected pillars of the community, seemed the epitome of the perfect family. When Emily's disappearance was reported, a colossal search and rescue operation was initiated to locate Emily. The inhabitants of the town, law enforcement, and even unfamiliar faces from nearby settlements united in the search. Days morphed into weeks, and weeks into months, with Emily remaining an eerie phantom, her absence only in the anguished wails of her parents and the subdued murmurs of the town's people. Eventually, after 6 months have passed, people gave up on the search and assumed Emily as dead. The town's life steadily came back to normal, as well Emily's parents. Still, after 15 years, each day a painful reminder of that horrifying disappearance. Their once bustling home now echoed with the empty silence of their guilt. However, one night, the silence was shattered. A phone call from an anonymous number broke the peace and quiet at Emily's home. "Who's calling at this hour?" questioned Emily's father, George. George picks up the phone. "Hello?" And there's no answer from the other side, just a blank, empty silence. "Who was it?" questions Emily's mother, Eloise. "No one, probably just some annoying kid playing a prank. Let's go sleep. It's getting late," continues George. They dismissed the gravity of this phone call, deeming it inconsequential. But what eludes their awareness is that this is about to descend into far more sinister depths. The next day, her parents returned home from work to the usual silent house. The phone rang again, the shrill sound piercing the silence. The anonymous number flashed on the screen, but this time they didn't pick up. They stared at the phone as the ringing echoed through the house, a reminder of the previous night. As night fell, strange occurrences began to take place. Unexplained noises resonated through the empty halls, flickering lights cast ominous shadows, and a sense of being watched filled the house with a palpable dread. The house, once their sanctuary, was now a stage for the unsettling events of the night. The once comforting walls now held them captive in fear. What was happening? Was it their mind playing tricks on them, or was it something far more sinister? The following night, the eerie silence was replaced by a cacophony of terrifying sounds again. Doors creaked open and slammed shut on their own. The wind howled through the cracks in the old wooden frame of the house, and a chilling laughter echoed through the hallways. The sounds in the house grew more violent, echoing the escalating terror that gripped Emily's parents. Their hearts pounded in their chests, a relentless rhythm matching the escalating horror. Suddenly, the phone rang again, its shrill tone piercing the night. The anonymous number flashed on the screen again, a sight that now filled them with terror. The relentless ringing didn't stop until George, Emily's father, gathered the courage to pick it up. George picks up the phone without a single word coming out of his mouth. Suddenly, on the other side, he listens. "Daddy!" In a whispering tone, he turns off the phone immediately. Eloise questions in a nervous tone, "Who was?" George pauses for a moment and goes back to the bedroom in a state of shock. Eloise starts crying. "Why'd you do this to me? Do you think this is funny?" The noises have now stopped, but the dread is now even worse than before. Seeking solace and answers, George visits the park where Emily used to play, her laughter echoing in his mind among the rustling leaves. As the day turns into night, the scene gets eerier. The once comforting sound of the wind through the trees now sounds like whispers. The rustling leaves seem to be hiding sinister secrets, and the shadows on the playground grow longer, as if reaching out for him. Returning home, George finds a sight that he wasn't expecting. Eloise, Emily's mother, lay lifeless on the floor, her eyes gouged out, a horrifying sight that turns his blood cold. The walls of their home, once filled with happy family photos, are now smeared with a chilling message written in blood. "Why did you do this to me?" The horrifying sight of Eloise and the chilling message on the wall marked the beginning of George's insanity. In a desperate attempt to escape his guilt, George runs towards the forest. The forest now stands as a grim monument of fear. The wind whispers through the trees, carrying the haunting echoes of Emily's laughter. George starts digging on the ground, his hands shaking, his heart pounding. The once soft earth now feels hard and cold beneath his trembling fingers. Slowly, he uncovers the remains of Emily, dismembered in a macabre way. The sight of these remains sends a cold shiver down his spine. Suddenly, George hears the sound of footsteps closing in on him, the forest coming alive with the echoes of his guilt. The once peaceful silence of the forest is shattered, replaced by the haunting echoes of his past sins. Overwhelmed by guilt and despair, George breaks down, crying and begging for forgiveness, confessing to the heinous act committed on the night of the 14th of March 1994. It was them who killed Emily, a chilling confession echoing through the forest, swallowed by the darkness. But this is not over yet. Before we dive into the final chapters of this chilling tale, we'd like to take a moment to remind you to hit that like button if you're enjoying the story so far. And if you haven't already, do subscribe to our channel for a regular dose of thrilling tales that are sure to keep you on the edge of your seat. Now let's uncover the final chapters of Emily's haunting tale. In the heart of the forest, under the cold gaze of the moon, Emily's ghost exacted her revenge. The spectral form of Emily, as innocent as she was in life, manifests before George. Her eyes, once full of life and innocence, now burn with a cold, eerie light. Suddenly, the spectral form lunges at George, her icy hands clutching his throat. The forest echoes with George's screams, a chilling symphony of terror amplified by the silent trees. The spectral form of Emily releases George, his lifeless body collapsing onto the forest floor. Days later, after the putrid stench alarmed the neighbours, the authorities found Eloise's corpse in her house. They began searching for George, but George's body was never found, his fate mirroring that of his daughters, a chilling tale of revenge or perhaps justice. And Emily, she remained a chilling enigma, her voice the only proof of her existence. The truth remains shrouded in mystery, a terrifying tale whispered in the dead of night. A tale of a girl who vanished only to return 15 years later, thought to be forgotten, is maybe more present than we expected. Thank you for watching.